This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I'm Alex Braun. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum reopened last month after a nearly $61 million renovation, but officials were keen to make it about more than just enhanced race car displays. Keeping wellness and accessibility top of mind at the museum is seen as a way to welcome more race fans and even employees. Collections and Exhibitions Coordinator Jamie Lee Brenneman.
ADA accessibility is always like, it's just the law, like you have to do it. But we wanted to do more than that, and we have the opportunity to do more than just the bare minimum.
Among the enhancements, the updated museum features a driving simulator that is wheelchair accessible and uses hand paddles instead of foot pedals. Governor Mike Braun on Tuesday signed into law a bill that threatens to strip Indiana's largest hospital systems of their state nonprofit status if their aggregate charges exceed state average prices. The bill's core pricing scrutiny targets hospital systems with $2 billion or more in net patient service revenue in the state. In Indiana, that affects a group often called the Big Five: Indiana University Health, Ascension St. Vincent, and Community Health Network in Indianapolis, as well as Mishawaka-based Franciscan Health and Parkview Health in Fort Wayne. A New Jersey-based warehousing and logistics operator plans to lay off dozens of workers in Northwest Indiana. NFI Industries filed a notice with the state on Friday saying it plans to lay off 78 employees at its Crown Point warehouse in July, though a reason for the move was not provided. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Get ready for full throttle coverage as we shift into high gear for Business at the Brickyard, presented by LiUNA with support from the City of Westfield and Daniel's Family Vineyard and Winery. We're giving you the inside track on the powerful connection between motorsports and the Indiana economy. Join us at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and the stories that drive the business of motorsports. So buckle up and join us for Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard coverage all month long.
The Indiana Capital Chronicle and 4 other news entities filed a lawsuit Monday evening challenging the state's prohibition against press witnesses for state executions. IIB's Mark Mazurek has more.
Alongside the Associated Press, Circle City Broadcasting, Gannett, and Tegna, the outlets allege that the ban violates the First Amendment and limits public accountability. Circle City Broadcasting owns Wish TV, Gannett owns the Indianapolis Star and 8 other outlets in Indiana, and Tegna owns WTHR. Reporters from all 5 entities have covered portions of the case, and the Associated Press regularly covers executions nationwide. Indiana is one of only 2 states with the death penalty that prohibits media witnesses. Capital Chronicle senior reporter Casey Smith witnessed December's state execution of Joseph Cochran via the condemned man's guest list. The federal government carries out executions at the U.S. Penitentiary in Terre Haute, which allows for up to 10 news representatives. State law, however, puts more strict limitations on who can attend an execution. News reporters are usually granted access to a designated area but not permitted to directly witness the state's actions. The filing says, quote, Indiana's statutory prohibition on providing access to news reporters at its executions has limited the public's understanding of these proceedings, end quote. The news organizations urge the federal court to rule the prohibition is unconstitutional and issue an injunction against enforcement. The lawsuit comes as Indiana is set to execute death row inmate Benjamin Ritchie on May 20th. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Elkhart-based LCI Industries, the parent of recreational vehicle manufacturer Lippert, is reporting first quarter net income of $49.4 million, up from $36.5 million during the same period last year. CEO Jason Lippert said the 35% increase exceeded expectations despite ongoing macroeconomic headwinds. During a conference call with investors, Lippert said tariffs are top of mind for LCI as well as consumers. He said the company is working to mitigate the effect of tariffs through a variety of measures, including a potential price increase for consumers that could range between 3% and 9%.
The most important point to note is that we have navigated tariffs and other impactful challenges before, and we have the experienced leadership team in place to do it again with a successful result. In the meantime, we're moving quickly, engaging in supplier negotiations and supplier repositioning to continue to diversify our supply chain and manage inventory timing, while also leveraging some excess inventory and pass-through pricing mechanisms on key commodities where appropriate to our customers.
Lippert said by the end of 2025, the number of raw materials and components coming from China will be about 10% as the company transitions production into more strategically favorable regions. 500 Festival CEO Bob Bryant is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Braun for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Get ready for full throttle coverage as we shift into high gear for Business at the Brickyard, presented by LiUNA with support from the City of Westfield and Daniels Family Vineyard and Winery. We're giving you the inside track on the powerful connection between motorsports and the Indiana economy. Join us at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and the stories that drive the business of motorsports. So buckle up and join us for Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard coverage all month long.